Oi, fala aí pessoal, bom dia. Você está escutando o Inglês no Rádio. I am your host, Foster Hodge. This is your daily dose of English. Hey, Alexia.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine. What about you?
I'm doing very well. I hope that everyone listening, all 25 of you, are also doing well. 25,000. So, Alexia, today, what are we talking about?
Phrasal verbs?
Phrasal verbs. So you're going to suffer a little bit today. Is that cool?
Yay.
You hear the excitement in her voice. So, just to provide a little bit of context, Alexia is a very advanced English speaker, I would say.
Thank you. I think so.
You consider yourself an advanced speaker?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Alexia speaks really well. She can talk with everyone. She can have conversations. Maybe sometimes you can't find the perfect word that you would use in Portuguese, but you're very advanced, right?
I can get along with people.
Perfect. So one of the most common questions that I, as an English teacher, always receive is, I need help with phrasal verbs. Studying phrasal verbs in Cultura Inglesa or whatever school, and I don't understand. So, Alexia, can you tell me what are phrasal verbs? What are these things that so many Brazilians have difficulties with? So what are phrasal verbs?
I don't know what phrasal verbs are. I still have the same difficulties that I used to have when I was student as well.
When I was a student.
A student.
Right. So whenever you talk about a profession, like I'm a doctor, I'm a student, anything you do for a vocation, we always include the article a or an, right?
Right. And what I can say about phrasal verbs is they are expressions, right?
Yeah. I mean, the phrase expressions is a pretty vague form of terminology. But yeah, normally phrasal verbs are expressions. So let's do this. Can you give me an example of a phrasal verb?
Yes. A phrasal verb that I really like it because I think it's really funny is I bumped into Foster yesterday at the mall.
Why do you think that's funny?
I think that bumped into, it means eu esbarrei com Foster, eu encontrei com Foster de forma inesperada,
Tropecei.
né?
Pode falar, né?
O quê?
Tropecei.
Mas na verdade não é tropeçar, é encontrar de forma inesperada.
Exactly. You bumped into someone you were not expecting. You saw me at the mall.
Exactly. So, but I think that bumped into is really, really funny to say. So I always recognize this as a phrasal verbs.
Nice.
Phrasal verb, sorry.
Nice. There is a very vulgar expression with bumped. I'm not going to include that in this family-friendly podcast. Okay, so I bumped into someone. Yes, that is a perfect example of a phrasal verb. So let's break this down and separate it and think about what it is. So first, we have the word bump. What kind of word is that? What part of speech is that? Okay, so when we're talking about words, we have nouns, adjectives, verbs, adverbs.
I think bump is a verb.
Correct. Very good, Alexia. Bump is a verb, right? Verbs are like action words. Like I'm running, run, jump, talk, walk. All verbs. You're doing something, correct? And into.
Preposition.
Nice.
Yay.
Nice. So all of my students, 99% of my students say they have problems with prepositions. And most of them do because prepositions are difficult. Do you have any idea of how to explain what prepositions are? Most people can't do this. Most Americans can't do this.
It's something that connects the phrase.
Exactly.
The phrase, I mean, the words in the phrase.
Exactly. That is a great way to think about prepositions is they're connecting words. Prepositions always have to do with connection. So they are connecting normally a verb or some sort of location or situation with the rest of the phrase,
Uh-huh.
right? So perfect. You analyzed everything perfectly, and that's exactly what a phrasal verb is. It's a verb, so it can be actually one or more verbs paired with one or more prepositions. So you have bumped into, you have get up, move out, find out, check in, all of these verbs that are connected with a preposition to create a phrasal verb, right?
Yes.
So that's pretty easy.
Yeah, when you think about it, yeah, of course.
Yeah, so the format, the structure is pretty easy, but why do you think they're so difficult for Brazilians then?
I think that the normal ones like get up, move on, and the other one that you just said that I can't remember now, we don't recognize it as a phrasal verb because it's really easy and we use it on the daily basis of a phrase.
Right, you just think of it as an expression.
Yes, we don't think as a phrasal verbs, but when someone asks me, do you know any phrasal verbs? I will never say get up, move on, ever.
Right, right. So this is where I think most of the difficulty comes from. Because when people are thinking about phrasal verbs, they are thinking about it in isolation, which is weird. It's not the way we do it. But the real reason that phrasal verbs are so difficult is because almost all the time they can't be translated directly. So when you say, I bumped into someone, if you literally translate that, a bump is like a bump in the road. And then into, you think about going into like a restaurant or something. It has nothing to do with just randomly seeing
No,
someone on
yeah.
the street. Another example, if you think of to put up with, like if you say, I cannot put up with my boss, you're saying like, não aguento mais o meu chefe, right?
Yeah.
But if you translate that literally, directly, word for word, it would be put, like colocar, up, para cima, with, com. It makes no sense.
But do Americans or English or British or Australians or anyone who speaks
English
English,
speakers?
yes, do they use phrasal verbs normally?
All the time.
Okay, but put up with, I can't put up with my boss. I think that people usually says, I can deal with my boss.
Right. I can't usually, people usually say, right? Um, mm, I think a lot of people would say put up with, or deal with, or handle.
Deal with is a phrasal verb.
Yeah, there's still a phrasal verb because you're still using
See,
deal
I
with,
don't know.
right?
Yeah.
Right. So the complicated thing here is most phrasal verbs have a direct translation like alternative, right? So for example, when I am arriving to a party or I'm arriving to any situation, what do you think I would normally say in English? I would not say, "Oh, I'm arriving in 20 minutes."
I'm getting.
Yeah, I'm getting there
Yeah, I'm
normally,
getting there.
or getting to, right? So we use some variation of a phrasal verb with get. And if you say I'm arriving or what time did you arrive, people understand you. It's grammatically correct, but it sounds
It's,
very strange.
it's more formal, I think.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. We always say,
You
what time
correct
did you get
me
there?
on this
Yeah.
since ever.
Forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
No. You've been correcting me with this since ever.
Yeah. Whenever you want to say desde sempre, always forever.
Okay.
Yeah. That is correct. So I think the easiest way to fix this disconnect with phrasal verbs is to think about them in context. Don't think about them as phrasal verbs. Big truck going by. But, for example, instead of thinking to put up with as this complicated thing, just think of it as an expression. To put up with means aguantar, right? And then you can really start incorporating these phrasal verbs into your everyday speech.
Okay. Perfect.
So the first thing is a mindset shift. The next thing is practicing these and putting them into your English every day. And in the next episode, we're going to talk about some examples of phrasal verbs. That sound good?
Yes.
Alexia does not look happy. See you guys soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Inglês no Cru Rádio. If you like what we do, please check us out at inglesnuicru.com, inglesnuicru.com. There you can find everything you need, all of the episodes, transcripts, blog posts, articles, resources, and new courses that we're releasing this month. Thank you for your support. Most importantly, keep up the good fight and lose well. Até já já. Ciao.